Good morning, all. It is both an honor and a privilege to welcome you all for this 1 week student development program on enhancement and enrichment of soft skills in students organized by School of Management Studies, Srinidhi Institute of Science and Technology. During this pandemic situation, there are pouring number of development programs, workshops, webinars being organized by reputed universities and colleges across the globe. If there are questions in the minds of the student participants, like, did I make the right choice? Is this program worth the sacrifices I have made to get here? I can assure each and every one of you that you are here because you deserve to be and learning is assured. Most of the interactions require some level of soft skills. At a company, you might be negotiating to win a new contract, presenting your new idea to your colleagues, networking for a new job, and so on. We use soft skills every day in every situation. The World Economic Forum for Future of Jobs report suggested that complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, and emotional intelligence are among the most important skills required in the workplace. With this note, I once again welcome you all to the 1 week student development program and wish you all a happy learning. I once again request all the participants to please rename yourself and enable us easy identification. Deepam signifies knowledge. All our activities should be governed by the light of knowledge. By this knowledge, ignorance is dispelled. Where there is light, darkness cannot be. Where knowledge has come, ignorance must quit. With these words, I invite you all for the virtual lamp lighting ceremony. I now request baby Lakshmi Alankrita to render a prayer song.
गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितम् कपित्तजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणम् नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजम् अगजाननपद्मार्कम् गजाननम् अहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तम् उपास्महे वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा
I now request Dr. A. Sandhya Rani, Head of the Department, School of Management Studies, Trinity Institute of Science and Technology, to address the participants. Madam, please.
A very good morning to our speaker for today, Dr. Janaki Garu, and the students from various institutions, and my dear colleagues. I welcome you all to the one-week program which we are organizing only for students, which will help them to groom themselves for the future careers. To talk about the School of Management Studies, we started in the year 2006 under the leadership of Dr. Y. Satyanarayan Garu and with the eminent leader, Dr. Narasimha Reddy Garu, who have been our mentor guide for all these years and enabling us to procure and to produce n number of students with lot of knowledge. And it is a value-driven tradition respecting B School and believes in honest, transparent, and organizational approach in the teaching pedagogy. And we are a fine mix of lectures, case studies, and group assignments culminating into integrated teaching learning phenomena. And we have a committed, excellent faculty with us, a team of 15 members, a small team. But let me introduce our faculty for today. We have with us Dr. Sudhakar. I request all our faculty members to switch on our videos. We have Dr. Sudhakar, Associate Head of School of Management Studies, Dr. Lakshmi. Then we have Dr. Manoj Joshi, Dr. Vishwanath, Dr. Sunil, Dr. Harinath, Dr. Madhura. I'm not able to see all, but I'm reading the names. Kindly, please. Then we have Mrs. Soumya. Then we have Srikant sir, who's available. Then we have Murthy sir, Uma Srikant sir, who are coordinating for all these events, all of us. Then we have Aarti madam, Rekha madam with us, Babu Rao sir, who's also assisting us. Then we have our coordinator, Mr. Arjun. Srinivas Chari sir. And all the other team members who have been assisting with us. And we have also have our DTP madam, Helen ma'am, also with us. Right? Thank you one and all for enabling this faculty development program to progress. Right? And to talk about the current topic, why we have chosen soft skills at this current situation. Soft skills can be considered, or it is considered as one of the non-academic skills which students require to help them to succeed in life. Right? And today's topic, we have an app topic here, emotional intelligence, which is one of the key success, which can be a key success in your life, especially in your career. Emotional intelligence skills form the base of competencies that all soft skills are built upon. Right? So here, the ability to manage people and relationships is very important in all leaders, which you are going to learn in today's session. So I welcome all of you all once again for this faculty development program, and hope you all enrich yourself with this 6 days, which is provided by eminent speakers. So I once again welcome our speaker, Janaki ma'am. and who have accepted our kind request and who are right now available today. Welcome you, ma'am. And I welcome all the students and my dear colleagues. Thank you for organizing this inaugural session and the session to start off with. So let's hope for the best for the next coming 6 days. Thank you one and all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is my privilege to introduce Dr. V. Janaki Tenneti, ma'am, the speaker for the session. Dr. Janaki Garu is a professor of management with 28 years of teaching and research experience. She holds 2 doctorates in economics and business management. She authored various research papers that are published in reputed national and international journals and 2 books. HR and women's studies are her areas of specialization apart from economics. Her other interests are music, writing various features, short stories, etc. We are fortunate to listen and learn from you, ma'am. I request you to please start the session. I request Sunil sir to please co-host madam.
Yeah, ma'am.
Hello, one and all.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. Very happy to be amongst you. Really, today, I could understand what it means by desperate situations and desperate measures. On virtual platform, you have arranged even lighting ceremony. It's very nice and very happy to see all your team members. And I think since the time left is only some 50 minutes, we shall go with the subject. We shall enter into the contents and go with the subject. I think I have been given 90 minutes according to the schedule, but now left with maybe 60 minutes or 70 minutes. Are you able to see me?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So emotional intelligence. This is very, very new concept when compared to many other concepts in soft skills or our curriculum or in the literature itself. Actually, if we see back, this concept has come up only in 90s. Earlier, intelligence or intelligent quotient, IQ, there is another measure. Let me check whether my PPT, what I have sent yesterday, is it available?
Yes, ma'am. Shall we play the PPT, ma'am?
Yeah, you keep playing. Can we have 2 screens?
Yeah.
Or shall I ask when the PPT is required?
No problem, madam. You will be visible along with the PPT.
Ma'am, I have
Okay,
the
okay,
PPT.
then
Shall I share that PPT?
keep playing first slide, please.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
1 second. 1 second.
So let us just take few examples of whatever we see in our normal life. Many times, those who have stopped the college with very good percentage or topped sometimes the university or all his curriculum, they become really failures in life. They cannot grab the opportunities well, or whatever the opportunities that have been given to them also, sometimes they cannot utilize them well. And many times they end up with a lot of distress situation or depression and all these things. The person who is very, very active in his life in various fields, he may be a failure in his married life. That means, we see different kinds of situations, different kinds of people, and how they face the situation, how they come out with success or happiness, joy, all these things. So apart from intelligence, there should be another thing that is actually determining the happiness quotient in our life or the success in our life. So what is that? Normally, it has been a very interesting thing for the academia to understand this, to investigate further, to go into the details of what that is required. It might be known to people only, because without that human evolution might not have been possible. But we have to understand it, we have to define it, we have to know the what are the determining factors, how it gets manifested, how it can be measured, how it can be altered, how it can be improved, all these things. Otherwise, there is no academic purpose. If we can't give all these things to a subject, then it can't help the people. So that is why there has been lot of studies, there actually lot of interest towards these concepts. Finally, in 1990s, this concept has come, which is known as emotional intelligence. What are the emotions? Emotions are those kinds of feelings that come up in our mind, or our perceptions. Like normally, every man or every living being, we can say, bunch of emotions they'll be having. Many times they go ununderstood, or many times they go misunderstood. Without giving sufficient importance to the emotions, whatever we do in the life, because of our cognitive abilities, that means our intelligence abilities, we may do several things. But once we cannot understand the emotional network or the emotional pattern or the emotional fabric of other people who are living around you, then whatever you do may not get the value. It may not be added with the value, it may not be taken into account properly, or it may not give the fruitful results what it could have been given. Suppose, let us just hypothetical situation, let us take. One day in an organization, a very important day, that is a very big meeting is going on, or some kind of important day. That day, because of some reason, you were late. You went some 1 hour late to the organization. You entered the office. Then everybody is looking at you, but in their that gaze, whatever the look they are giving, you are unable to find the daily friendly look, whatever you feel when you enter the office. Some kind of seriousness, some kind of unpleasant situation. If you ignore that and get into your work, definitely after that also the bitterity will be with you only. People cannot be, because of your that day, because of you were late, some loss was caused to all those people. They may not be completely expressing that to you openly, but they are feeling it inside. If you cannot give weightage to those feelings, if you don't apologize for your late, or you don't explain any reason for them, you are thinking that you are master at your work, you have finished the work, only thing you have to share it with them, some kind of your own thoughts you are having, and you are going with your timetable, your agenda, all these things, and you are not giving sufficient importance for the discomfort what they are having in their eyes, though they are not expressing, they are feeling that. Then this situation, the bitterness what you have caused, will be lasting for few more days, definitely. Then what will happens? All other situations also will have this kind of negative effects. That negative flavor will not go. Slowly some deterioration in your relations, official or non-official, many kinds of things will be there. That means you must be very intelligent in your subject, logic, everything. Your work you have done promptly, so you think that you need not answer anyone, but there is some unanswered portion which is not solved, so the problem remains. These are certain things that happen. So that is why we have to understand what has to be supplemented along with your IQ, what has to be supplemented it with, or what is the major role played, what is the playing in your relations. That is the emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is nothing but you have to understand others' emotions and your own emotions also. See, here in the earlier situation, I explained you two things. On that day, some important situation I said. One day before only, you have completed everything, you have done with the work, so you came late on the important day. There are two things. In your mind, you are thinking that you need not answer anyone because you have done, you have finished your work. Only thing is presenting the work that can be done any moment. So you are thinking that you need not answer anyone. You are correct from your side. Others are thinking that since the information is not shared to them properly, they are unable to make with it. They are feeling some kind of distress. So here two things have happened. One thing is you could not understand your own emotions, why you are doing like that, why you are not interacting each and everything with them properly, you could not understand, and why they are in a discomfort situation, why they are not moving properly with you, that also you could not understand. Two things have happened. So that means emotional intelligence means you have to understand your own emotions and you have to understand others' emotions also. Or very simply put, all these things, you have to practice to be mindful. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is the buzzword today. If you do everything mindfully, then you can improve every situation. You can optimize every situation. You can extract the 100% results of your effort, whatever you have done. If you do it mindfully, mindful towards others, mindful to the environment, always having alertness and understanding nature, first of all, readiness to understand, and behaving in the right manner. So, mindfulness can help to develop emotional intelligence by increasing people's understanding of their own emotions and to help understanding of others' emotions, and it develops a lot of positive psychology in you, and it gives a lot of clarity of feelings and attention to feelings. Giving proper attention to others' feelings is very, very important. If you are mindful, if you are emotionally intelligent, that happens. And because of all these things, what will happen? Distraction will get lowered. Other disturbances will not cause in bringing out the results. That is why this topic is very, very important. Just as intellectual intelligence is manifested by reading, learning, solving, problem solving, and all these things. Learning, when it is done, lot of intellectual intelligence will be formed. But how the emotional intelligence will be formed? It will be fostered through mindfully attending current emotional status. Whatever the emotional status is there, somebody is unhappy with you, you attend to them. You mindfully, you must do that. Then it gives lot of solutions. So in the first slide, what we are showing is the emotional intelligence, what it has. People may have some goals, but you must have some compassion, sensitivity, readiness to understand, attention. You must be able to help others, and hope, focus, empathy, all these things will be resulting into emotional intelligence. And in the recent environment, it is found that more than intellectual abilities, emotional abilities, emotional intelligence is playing a role. Intelligence, if it plays 20% of in success of any program, emotional intelligence, emotional quotient is playing 80% role. This is what the statistics are bringing it to our notice. Next slide, please. Please change the slide. Yeah. See, here we are this diagram. It is a Venn diagram. The intersection of all the emotional quotient, social quotient, and intellectual quotient, that will give us the optimal performance. Many times we get very, very bitter feeling. We have worked a lot, even then success has been taken over by someone else. This is a normal feeling everybody will have. That after a performance appraisal, normally people will not be happy. Many times they keep thinking that whatever they have put, whatever effort they have put, that was not understood by the organization or by their superior or whatever it is. So always you have to keep this thing in your mind that there are two worlds. One is the external world and another one is your internal world. Internally, you may be struggling to work better way. Internally, you are really always thinking about the work, planning for it and doing the work promptly. But whether it is getting translated properly into the external world or not, that you have to be very, very alert. You have to pay attention towards that. Otherwise, you will think that you have done everything well, but it will not be taken into account by others. Then the optimal situation will not arrive. So here we are giving 3 Qs: emotional quotient, intelligent quotient, social quotient. Please, what are the words written in the brackets? Please pay attention towards them. Emotional quotient means our willfulness, mindfulness, will. Intelligent quotient means our ability, capacity. You may have capability to solve many equations, many problems, many things. So your abilities are different, and with what passion you will do that, what interest you will do that, and what willfulness you will do that is different. And social quotient speaks about the purpose, why you have to do all these things. When the purpose, your capacities and your willfulness, all the 3 things intersect with each other, where all 3 things join, there the optimal performance is created, which gives the real benefit, real happiness for yourself as well as for the organization. Let us define them. What is intelligent quotient? Next slide, please. Please move the slide. Hello. Yes, thank you. So intelligence quotient measures the rational thought abilities. How rationally a person can think. Rationally thinking means thinking about the cause and effect properly, without having any mid feelings. If you properly think about what is good and what has to be done, and without any kind of emotional interaction, if you think about the problem, then it is called rational. Rationality means just applying our intelligence to that, our problem solving abilities to that, assuming all other things are constant. And it is considered a critical trait for leadership. Rational thinking, when a problem appears before you, our thinking has to go very, very rationally towards that. Then only the best solution can be solved. So that is very, very, very important trait, important quality for leadership. So it is associated learning by step rule-based learning. When you think about something in a rational manner, you can give an algorithm. What has to be done at the first stage, what has to be done at the second stage. Even decision making also can be split into different stages and they can be applied. All these things are connected to your intelligence, your brain. And it is very important. Not that when we say emotional quotient is important, not that IQ is less important. That is also very important. Then the second one is EQ. What is EQ? Emotional intelligence is the ability to assess, access, and control your emotions. You have to assess your emotions. And you have to be have an access to your emotions and others. Many times what happens is, in the next slides I'll explain with detail, our emotions confuse us. Even you cannot understand yourself also properly. Emotional intelligence speaks about understanding your emotions and others' emotions also. That is a very, very good ability actually. Many times others' ability, others' emotions also a puzzle for you. Why they are feeling happy, why they are feeling sad, what kind of feelings they are having when you are performing well. Are they feeling jealous or are they with you? All these things they confuse you. And our emotions also confuses. What do you have? And suddenly somebody is not paying attention to you. You are speaking an important issue, but others are not paying attention to you. Suddenly you may get disturbed, irritated. Then after that, that disturbance will lead to another, some other issue. So all these things, because they happen because you are also not understanding your emotions properly. So what is that we are telling? It is the ability to assess, access, and control your emotions. You can control your emotion, and you ask them to be silent, pay attention, since this is a more important issue. This you can do when you can control your tone properly. You can do all these things. When you only can't understand why you got disturbed, you may also start shouting or yelling. Because of that, the situation will get worse. So these are certain things that have to be taken into account. Basically, if you have emotional intelligence, you have the ability to perceive, understand, use, and manage emotions. Please read all the 4 sentences. Very, very important. First of all, perceive. What is meant by perception? Perception is the first-hand feeling, first-hand understanding. When you somebody is seeing you seriously, that means there might have been a episode gone already, which you could not pay attention in the right time. You ignored their feelings. So in one time period, if you have ignored their feelings, in the second time period, they'll be having some gap with you. They may not be moving freely with you. So these things, if you can perceive in the right time, very, very promptly, quickly, then you can improve that. Otherwise, the case is gone. So perceiving, understanding, using, and managing, all the 4 have to be done. Then that is called emotional intelligence. You have to perceive. Suddenly they are keeping a serious face when they look. Why, what happened? Yesterday you might have given them a promise that you have, or it is an important day for them, you did not wish them properly, or you completely forgot, or whatever it is. If you cannot perceive and understand, then you cannot improve it. You cannot manage that. So this is very important. And this is also very, very important required tool for leadership. And third one is social intelligence. Social intelligence, what is it? It is to understand the complex social structures, social networks. Organization means group of people. There are many groups. Some are formal groups, some are informal groups, some are teams, which are deliberately made for a purpose. Many things. And outside the organization also, you have many groups. Your friends are there, relatives are there, extended families are there. Many things are there. And person means emotions. Everybody will have their own thoughts, their own behaviors, their own perspectives, and all those things. So among these complex social networks, how you are managing yourself, how you are understanding all those things, and how you are navigating yourself, this is called interpersonal intelligence. That means between 2 persons, or when you are among a group, how you are understanding, managing, and taking the situation to the next level. Navigating, how you are taking the issue to the next level. So all these things are very, very important. Next slide, please. Please change the slide. See carefully this situation. In the first cartoon, uh, he is telling someone that my idiot boss failed my performance review. He said I have poor attention to detail. So this is the reason given in the performance appraisal. He gives very, very less attention towards the details. Giving proper attention to each and every detail, it is very, very important thing for the success in the organization, success in your career, success in your life, everywhere. Even single detail shouldn't be left. So he is telling that he has poor attention to detail. That is what his boss has written. And see that he is missing a basic detail, very, very important detail, that the person who is hearing from back is his boss. That means he has proved that he has no ability to give attention to the details. So that is what his boss is saying. I am standing right beside you, your idiot boss. He is telling that his boss is idiot, and boss is responding from back. You see this next slide. I am sorry to say, but you have failed your test because you didn't even make a sad face when a sad story was being narrated to you. Emotions are shown by faces, different kinds of faces. So you must always give proper response to the emotion. If you silently bear that, if you don't respond, if you keep a dry face or a plastic face, you cannot win others' heart. So this is very, very important. While giving, you have to have the feeling, and you have to show the feeling also. Both are important. And see this bottom cartoon. He is telling, the boss is telling that he has considered his employees. He is being very, very considerate towards employees. And many times, see the second one, you just read it. When I made Helen come to work last Saturday, I told her please, and I thanked her afterwards. Many times it is told that please and thanks are two magic words. They can make you win every situation. So this boss has learned that from somewhere. Maybe there are so many books nowadays, how to become successful, how to win a situation, all these things from that. So there it is written, you have to add please and thanks, then every situation you can go smoothly for you. So he is telling that for the employee, he has added the sentence please and thanks also. And I even made a point of scheduling her to come in early. All these things he is telling. He is right. Many times it happens for us also. We are always will be telling, I did that, I did this. Even then I wasn't noticed. What is this? What is that? All those things. This is what in the fourth picture it is coming out. That way she didn't have to miss a single minute of her wedding. That is her wedding day. On that day she has to get married. On that day he is giving her work, and he is adding the two words please and thank you. He is expecting her to do very, very happily all those things. When it is not done, he is feeling very bad also. So if you see the whole situation, what it is, and he doesn't have any kind of emotional intelligence, no compassion towards others, no consideration, no empathy, nothing is there. Completely self-centered boss. How to get the thing done, that's all. These kind of people cannot be happy, they cannot keep others happy, they can't be happy. And in this kind of current business scenario, they cannot have a long lasting career also. This is the present day situation. So these are certain things. Next slide, please. Please change the slide. Please change the slide, please. Yes, thank you. See, these are certain things which may happen, which may result because of lack of emotional intelligence. Topper in the college can't meet sales target. Why? When the customer is standing in front of him, he is not understanding the customer psychology. He is go on telling about the product strength, robustness, all these things. What the customer wants. He may want some kind of new feature, or some kind of some other feature what this person is unable to share with them. So that is unable to meet the sales target. Many times a workaholic manager fails in motivating. In the earlier cartoon only we have seen the person is telling He is very, very workaholic, very result oriented. He is telling, I have done this, I have done that. Nobody is understanding me. What is this? What is that? This is what? Lack of emotional intelligence. And boy brought up in very good discipline fails in marriage life. He is very, very disciplined. He is brought up in very good family, always topper, very good percentage of marks, got a job at very, very early age of 22 or 23. Everything is done. But after marriage, lot of disturbance. Why? Because his partner wants something else. She wants him always to be happy with her, excite her, and all these things. Unable to do this. Disciplined boy, he is unable to understand her psychology. So, lack of emotional intelligence. Evolution of the concept. Please go to next slide. When the concept is evolved, in the 1990 year, word emotional intelligence was introduced as new means to understand human intellect. Human intellect has another dimension. That is what I explained in the beginning of the lecture also. Human intelligence, apart from cognitive abilities means learning, understanding, solving, problem solving, equation solving, all these things, there is another dimension which is essentially missing, because of which whatever we think is unable to yield the best results. That is what it was felt. So then they have understood the new dimension, that is the human intellect. Then the big paradigm shift was there. That means, as I told earlier, even a very good person was failing to meet his targets, or he was failing to bring some satisfaction in self as well as others, then leaders had to have another feature which is not explained properly. That is what people thought. Because of which what happens, achievement becomes unpredictable. Whether you can achieve the target or not, it is unpredicted. You are doing everything, all the groundwork needed, all the infrastructure ready, everything is ready. Finally, achievement is not done properly, or the targeted achievement is not achieved. Why? It was a question, it was a puzzle. Then people could understand. See, once you cannot predict that, then that is useless. When you understand it totally, you should be there. See how much you understood, whether you understood correctly or not, how you can tell that what is the measure of that. If you can predict what that can happen after this or in near future or next day, then your understanding, whatever you have done, your understanding, that is correct. You have to conclude like that. So when achievement was unpredictable, what is the use of pouring money in it, pouring a lot of resources, time, energy, employees efficiency, all these things, when you can't achieve that, or you cannot promise that you can achieve that. Once this emotional intelligence concept was out, people could learn from something from it. Then what happened was achievement became predictable. You can predict that, yes, tomorrow people, if I announce that by tomorrow this has to be ready, yes, my people will do it. They'll keep everything ready by tomorrow. I can assure that, and it happens also. That means everything is going smoothly. That means the emotions of the people are also addressed properly. That is why people are able to work with their fullest spirit, fullest extent they are able to work. Then it has come out as a new understanding of defining intelligence, and measuring of emotional intelligence started later by D.R. Caruso, Gill, etc. Next slide, please. Please change the slide. Then they have understood that job performance is effectively impacted by emotional intelligence. And in 2010, Virginia Commonwealth University, they have used the emotional intelligence tests for the first time. And they understood that these are the predictors for future job success, not intelligence ability tests, emotional ability tests. See, human. Do you understand this? Because a lot of artificial intelligence has come. So all these things have become transferable from one person to another person. What is till now remaining non-transferable? What is still now remaining completely human, only person can do, you cannot transfer these things to others. These are the emotions. Emotions, your joy, your happiness, your feel good feeling, or your sadness, your sorrow, till now they are inside you. They are unable to be transferred to others. They are unable to be given to machines. There is no robotic technology for all these things. So that is why they'll be acting as the predictors for the future success. And what is true intelligence? Next slide, please. It is not abstract reasoning. It is not the ability to understand a difficult concept. Nowadays, this is the recent way of defining true intelligence. What is it? How you carry yourself, how positive you will be, what kind of spirit you can spread among others when you enter the room, how at a time everybody's moods get lifted, what kind of spirits they'll be enthused with, the enthusiasm you can spread, the zeal you can spread, how you always happy feeling you can give to others, how selfless image you can give to others. All these things nowadays, they are becoming very, very important, particularly as the generations are proceeding from one generation to see, first one baby boomers, after that generation X, after the millennials, after that now generation Z. People are moving from generation to generation with very, very fast thinking. Their thinking is getting very, very fast. And their information getting abilities, information gathering abilities, information processing abilities are growing very fast because of internet and all those things. So now people have lot of understanding power when compared to earlier working people, maybe. And they don't want to be completely workaholics, always keeping your head down and work, always keeping your eyes in the system. That kind of culture the present generations don't like. They want to be among happy groups, happy teams, and very, very positively motivated, always having the positive psychology. So these are the main things for nowadays in organizations. That is why nowadays the true intelligence has changed its definition. It is how you carry yourself. It is how you manage yourself and your relationships. If you maybe you are very, very good workaholic, you can solve many equations, many problems and all those things. Finally, you cannot make the others understand about them, or you cannot carry your feelings well to them, then uh, you will be in a dismal position only. So this is today's world scenario. Your emotional makeup, how well you can make up your emotions. Suppose boss shunts you, then the whole day you get disturbed and you keep others also in disturbed mood, then that is not wanted, that is not expected from any person today. How well you can make up, how quickly you can back up to the situation. And IQ may predict intelligence, EQ predicts corporate success and leadership abilities. That is why it is making a very big sense today. That is why it is included as very, very important soft skill today. You may get some corporate success, you may predict few things properly because of your intelligence quotient, but if you have to have a real success in your corporate life or in your career, or you want to prove yourself as very good leader, then emotional intelligence, emotional quotient has to be very, very high. Next slide, please. Next slide. We can go to next slide. Next slide, please. Yes. When there is emotional intelligence at workplace, what happens? Let us see. People express themselves openly and respectfully without fear of offending co-workers. They know how to frame a sentence. They know how to bring a fact to others' notice. There are so many ways of constructing sentences in telling. Suppose a person on that day he dressed shabbily. Dress code is also important. How you carry yourself, that is very important nowadays. As his superior, you have to bring it to their notice. What is this? Why are you looking so shabbily? Is it the way to come to office? If you say like that, they'll others' feelings will get offended. Definitely, they'll get offended because why he has come, that there might be some reason behind. Somebody may be very sick in his home, because of that he was very busy all the time, so he came very hurried, in a hurry to office. Something might have happened. It may be genuine or not genuine, that we don't know. Here, what is your requirement? You have to take the point to his notice in a proper manner, so that his feelings will not get wounded and purpose is served. Both the things have to be done. Otherwise, doing that is very, very, it is waste of your time and his time also, waste of both the moods, all these things. So you have to express that in a very, very, what is this? You can say like that, all the days, see Kishore, all these days your way of dressing has been very good. What happened today? Are you not feeling well, or something is bad at your home? What happened? Why are you like this? I didn't expect you to be like this. Suppose if you say like that, the person, even if he is really carelessly dressed on that day, he will feel bad. He'll feel bad to make you feel like that. So he will immediately tell you, no sir, from tomorrow onwards I will come promptly, well dressed. Today something has happened. Okay, you just forget it today. Just apologetic tone. He'll bring that apologetic tone and he'll give you proper reply. So you have to express openly. See, again, you need not hide the fact. He's dressed shabbily, you hide it because he'll think something bad. It need not be done. It has to be, you have to talk openly, but in a respectful manner. So when emotional intelligence is there at the workplace, you can do that. And resilience is evident with the new initiatives are introduced. Normally in the organization, any kind of change, people try to resist. Suppose somebody will say that, okay, from today onwards, we'll work for 1 hour extra. What will be the first hand feeling of people? There may be, if that kind of order has come, there may be a sufficient reason behind. Maybe some deadline is approaching, so everybody has to work properly. Or in the near future, there may be some kind of band or some kind of unexpected or expected breakdown on the work. So that is why you have to work. One thing we have to remember, everybody knows the purpose inside. In their heart, they may be knowing, but they don't want to recognize it. They don't want to acknowledge it as far as possible, as much as possible. So any change, people try to show by resistance. They'll try to resist that. And they'll say, why extra? What is that we are getting? All these words will come. But once people are emotionally intelligent, suppose certain kind of training has been given to them, or certain kind of mentoring has happened in their workplace, then they'll immediately come to the point. They'll immediately come, okay sir, when the work is there, definitely we'll do. Okay, anyway, next week till that, whatever the target is there, definitely we are with you. That kind of, immediately that kind of feeling will be, that kind of conversations only will happen. So because of the lot of waste of time in convincing others, or struggling to bring a solution, all these things will be cut off. Immediately the point will be reached by each and every person. And another thing, flexibility is present. Employees spend their time together outside of work. People are together now. When they are emotionally intelligent, their differences are erased. Internally also, they feel that friendship towards others. So even outside the work also, there will be that friendships will get along. Then what will happen? Definitely work effectiveness and efficiency will increase. People working with different kinds of mindsets, non-coordinating moods, people working with a lot of friendly attitudes, and lot of coordinated mood. Definitely there is a big difference in the effectiveness and efficiency of work. And freedom of creativity is celebrated and consistent. Normally, if a person shows some creativity, another person should not ridicule that, or should not completely give a bland feeling or a dry feeling as if the time is wasted, or some the person who has shown the creativity feels that it is not recognized. All these things happen because of lack of emotional intelligence. Otherwise, the creativity is celebrated. Whatever you do, work, whatever new way you present yourself, or whatever new thing you just carry to your office mood, everybody should understand that, praise that, compliment that. Then what will happen? That creativity is celebrated, which is very, very important. And another thing, in the meetings, normally active listening will happen because you are positive mood, you are positively motivated, your mood is very good. So definitely listening will become active. You will listen only to take the contents. This is very important. Many times we listen only for the purpose of listening. From this year we listen, from this year we leave. We don't want to change anything, thinking that all this is trash. Whatever they say in meetings is trash, only eating our time, all these things. This is all negative mode, negative psychology. This will not help in improving yourself as well as organization or your group or your team, whatever it is. So active listening happens when your emotional intelligence increases. When you are emotionally intelligent, you will understand the circumstances, then you will understand it properly. And another thing, very, very important point, employees will find a compassionate ear when needed, as we all have bad days. Like somebody is in a problem. One day in a bank for a particular person, some accounts are not tallying, he has to get stuck. Okay, that is his problem. Let us all go off. Time is up. It is already 6 o'clock. We'll all go. What happens? This is one psychology. He is in a problem. Let us all sit. At least if we can't help also, just let us sit here for half an hour more, because even another day we may also have a problem. Then we may expect the same thing for you, because that kind of compassionate attitude, that kind of compassionate nature, okay, we are with you kind of feeling is very, very necessary when we are in difficult times. So people, if they think like that, then that is very good. When it will happen? When they are emotionally intelligent, then it will happen. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes, thank you. So here I have given the definition of emotional quotient: the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions. You have to be aware, first of all, you have to control your emotions, and you have to express your emotions well. And to handle interpersonal relationship judiciously and empathetically. Interpersonal relations have to be maintained in a judicious manner. You have to give them their own space, as well as whenever it is needed, you have to interact. So this kind of balance should be there. And empathy also should be there. What is meant by empathy? Empathy means keeping yourself in others' position and thinking about the situation. Then you will understand their situation correctly. Suppose a boss, he wants to bank his employees for not meeting the deadline. Suppose at least for 5-10 minutes he can put them in their place and think. Definitely another picture may come into another situation may come into the picture. He can understand that well. Maybe because of some real problem they couldn't work. Similar thing happens other side also. When his boss insists on some deadline, at least for 5 to 10 minutes he can put himself in boss shoes and he can think about the problem. The situation will definitely change. He can understand that boss is also not shunting on his own. His boss is, his superior is asking him, that is why he has to produce the result. So this is all happening like that. Whatever he is doing today, tomorrow if I get a promotion, I'll do the same thing. This kind of thinking will help us a lot. And another definition, it is the capability of individuals to recognize their own emotions and those of others. Discern between different feelings, label them appropriately. Feelings normally they are like a thick network. They come and go in a collective manner. You cannot understand them separately. That requires an intelligence in you, how to understand. Suppose when a person whom you are expecting to be in time has come late, at the same time you will have happiness as well as irritation, frustration, and anger, all these moods, because at least the person has come, he is not completely absent, you have the happiness. Why late? Irritation. I had to do a lot of work all this time, frustration. And why didn't he inform me? Anger. All these things mixed, and you cannot if you cannot separate them and you cannot address them properly, all this you will be giving to others. So this is how a bad situation normally generates. So we have to recognize our emotions and others' emotions also, discern between different feelings and label them appropriately, use emotional information to guide thinking and behavior, manage and adjust emotions to adapt the environments or achieve one's goal. So these are certain things which are very, very important. You have to use the emotional information to guide thinking and behavior. If you know their discomfort, but you don't show a reaction, you don't take any action for it, don't respond only, thinking that all these things will make you small, then that is useless. Better you didn't know only. So you once you know that, it has to change your behavior, how you behave with others. That softness has to come within you. That is important. And how you get adapted to the environment. All these things go by that. Next slide, please. Change the slide. See the models of emotional intelligence. Actually, when earlier people asked me for this lecture, I wanted to have an exercise also to understand each and every person's emotions by face. But again, I thought so many people, I came to hear that so many people have got registered. For so many people, it is very, very difficult on a virtual platform to conduct that exercise. So I dropped it. But I am showing that different kinds of expressions, different kinds of faces, and we must be able to understand by the face, because face is the index of all our emotions. In the face, they are shown. So different kinds of feelings, how people show, that kind of knowledge is very, very important. Next slide. Change the slide, please. What are the benefits of emotional intelligence? Healthy workplace environments don't happen by accident. They are intentional, because leaders are intentional. This is very, very important point. See, people working together, we all know that organization means group of people. People working together in a healthy environment, that doesn't happen naturally, because when people are there, differences are there. When people are there, diversity is there. When people are there, conflicts are very, very normal to exist. That is very natural. But how you bring harmony, that explains your deliberation, your intention, your seriousness for that. When you want only, it will be achieved by continuous mentoring, training, coaching, counseling, speaking with them, spending time with them, making them to do certain exercises, giving them certain awareness about all these things. That will help. That will help people to change their behavior, change their thinking. So it is done only when people are intentional to have that. When you want to achieve so much of success in the organization, or personally also, then we will put effort to that. And effective leadership happens with 20% IQ and 80% EQ. 80% emotional quotient is very important for the good leadership, because good leader always leader, how good he is, what is a measure of leadership, whether he is a good leader or not, how you will say, tell me. There is only one measure. Leaders are always measured by their followers. By seeing your team or your group, what kind of leader, that can be told. If your group is doing very tough task with very, very hilarious, happy mood in a joyous environment, they are very cooperative, all these things, that means as a leader, you are successful. So leadership measure is done only by their, not by he himself, by leader personally. By seeing the team success, team's performance, leader can be assessed. So this is very important. That is why 80% it goes by emotional. Dealing with people means emotionals, emotional intelligence. Dealing with books, system, problems, all these things, that is intelligence. Dealing with people well, that comes only with the help of emotional quotient. Because emotional thickness, few people will have this kind of emotions, few people will have another kind. All these things, when you are intelligent, then only you can bring a harmony among all sorts of things. And it decides very good business acumen also. This decides the business abilities. That is what a famous quotation of Bill Gates. He says like that, I was always a backbencher throughout my education, but those people who are sitting in the front benches, now they are working for me. Why? What was the difference? What has been done? Many people, they say that we are not graduates, but we have even Harvard and Stanford graduates are working for us. Why? What happened? Because these people are people, smart people. Intelligence, smartness varies. Some people are book smarts, some people are people smart, some people are street smart, like that, different kinds of smartness. So those people could understand the emotions well. That is why they are able to lead, they are able to handle the business very well. Next slide, please. Some more benefits I have listed here. It can be seen when the emotional intelligence is seen there. It can be seen by increasing academic performance, better family and intimate relationships. Very good. It improves the family relationships also. Social relations and communication also improves. Lower level of anxiety symptoms, stress. Normally, if we cannot cope with the emotional intelligence of like we don't have the proper emotional intelligence, so we cannot cope with the hard situations, then the physical health is also affected. Normally, not maybe in this age, but when you come to 30s or 40s, physical health will be expected, affected. So that means anxiety will bring hyper blood pressure or diabetes, all these things. So how to reduce stress, how to reduce anxiety, for that also only one thing, that is emotional intelligence. Lower level of depression, lower probability of drug use, because if the physical health or mental health is upset, normally people will have to use drugs. So that also is because of lack of emotional intelligence. Less likelihood of interpersonal conflicts. So good leaders always go by human-centered approach. There are different approaches: problem-centered approach, human-centered approach. And many times situations will demand which thing will give better result. Suppose you are on a border, enemies are invading on you, you are military, you are in army, then it may be completely problem-centered approach. You may have to face the situation, whatever the conditions on your side. People emotions may not be given any value to that. But if you are working for an organization, you have a group of people who are experts in different areas, different fields, then as a leader, you will not be an encyclopedia of knowing each and everything, but you can make others work very well for you if you have the proper emotional intelligence. Their domain knowledge, whatever the expertise they are having, that can be put to full use. You can make it to the proper usage, so optimal results can be brought out. So always for good leader, what that is required is human centered approach. You have to make humans as your center of thinking. Then you have to think about the situation. This person abilities are this and his nature is this. Person B is like this, his nature is this. That kind of thing, that kind of knowledge should be always within you. Then it will give good results. And there are 3 models to understand and measure emotional intelligence. They are ability model, mixed model, and trait model. Ability model, next slide please. Ability model. It is the ability to monitor one's own feelings. Next slide, please. One's own and other people emotions, discriminate between different emotions, label them appropriately, and to use emotional information to guide thinking and behavior. This is the ability model. This is first model. What are the 4 abilities the model discusses? They are perceiving, using, understanding, and managing. What is meant by perceiving emotion? Next slide, please. Perceiving emotions, the ability to detect and decipher emotions in faces, pictures, voices, and cultural artifacts. Just by seeing something, you have to capture what could be the story. Suppose a person with a bland face or a dry face, immediately you should understand the story. Or you have gone to a house, there you have seen some mourning mood, bad mood in everybody's face, or how the things are kept in the house. Whether it is properly decorated or arranged, or everything is just falling on the ground haphazard way, how it is. By seeing in a glimpse, you have to understand the entire story. So that is the ability to decipher emotions. And sometimes voices, their tones, how they are speaking, low tone or high tone, happy tone, sad tone, all these things should tell us about the entire picture. Perceiving means coming to a first-hand opinion by seeing the thing. Perceiving emotion represents basic aspect of emotional intelligence, as it makes all other processing of emotional information possible. So when you take the first-hand picture of something, immediately how much you can understand from that, it gives you a lot of emotional information, which might be very, very useful for you in the future. Next slide, please. Next slide. Using emotions, the ability to harness emotions to facilitate various activities, thinking and problem solving. How to use the emotion, how to use your tone, how to use your mood properly for other things, how you can use it. The emotionally intelligent person can capitalize fully upon changing moods in order to best fit task in the hand. When to use what kind of mood. Suddenly a happy thing is there, you celebrate it. And after that a serious task, you have to change your eyes, your eye contact, your tone, everything. So that everybody will come into the order, they'll become alert and do that. That tone, that changing moods, changing everything, you have to control and manage the scene properly. Understanding the emotions, ability to understand emotion language. Somebody is unhappy, they are unable to tell, but their face may show that, their eyes may show that, their tone may show that. So that language is different. It may not be in English or Telugu in some word, but it gives you lot more knowledge than normal words can give. So that kind of understanding ability should be there. Managing emotions, the ability to regulate emotions in both ourselves and others. Once you can do that, you can immediately change the mood of others also. You can change your own moods. Immediately you can give a happy environment when it is very dull, or when it is so much happy, people are getting withered away, getting carried away in their emotions. You have to bring them to work mode. That also you can do. Many things that managing can happen. Next one, next slide. This is mixed model, Goldman's model, which is very, very important. Next slide, please. Yes. Please see this. 4 quadrants are there in this grid. One is Goldman's emotional intelligence model. It has got actually 5 constructs, out of which we are presenting 4 here. 5th one will be explained later. So what is this? Let us understand. On one side, we have taken in the horizontal quadrants, we have taken recognition, that is who I am, and regulation, what I do. These are 2 things. And in the vertical things, 2 quadrants are there. One is self and another one is social. So in the left hand side top quadrant, self and recognition. So that is self-awareness. The ability to recognize and understanding your moods. Many times in the emotional intelligence, it is found out that even our moods, our nature is also a puzzle for us. We don't understand. We also may go wrong. The unnecessary disturbances what we create in our life, they may affect our interpersonal relations and our work efficiency also. You have to recognize that in an objective way, just how the things are going, how the things are getting spoiled by you yourself. You have to watch that. When you can watch, you can observe, you can change it. So self-awareness is very, very important. The next one is left hand side, the bottom one, self-management. Once you are aware about yourself, then how to regulate it, what to do to regulate it. Self-management, the ability to control or redirect disruptive impulsive moods. When you are getting that unnecessary moods, how to control that. You may do some meditation, or you may see some happy pictures, or you may do something which is very, very important, where your passion passion is resting on. So it will give you a lot of happiness. Your moods may get changed. Suppose you are a music lover. When your moods are disturbed, you will listen to your favorite musician's music. Then it may give you, it may charge you well. You will get recharged and your mood. So that is how you will manage your. So that, see what we have written, you just see. The ability to control and redirect disruptive impulses and moods. The propensity to suspend judgment, to think before acting. What you have to achieve, only one thing. You have to think before acting, because your impulsive reactions may disturb the situation. Because of your emotional, what you call, if you have really working on your emotional intelligence, you have to take some time in order to decipher your emotions, in order to understand your emotions well, and make some changes to that, to bring that into control and manage the situation to get the best results. And the next one, social awareness, right hand side 2 quadrants. Top one is social awareness. That means the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people. When you understand yourself, the next task is understanding others. How it is, you have to understand. The skill in treating people according to their reactions. That is emotional, that is empathy. Then the next one is social skills. Proficiency in managing relationships, building networks, ability to find a common ground and build rapport. So this is how you manage your social skills. Next slide, please. Next slide. Change the slide, please. Yeah, thank you. There are 5 constructs, as I told. Goldman has given very good model for emotional intelligence, which has 5 constructs. One is self-awareness. The second one, empathy, motivation, self-regulation, social skills. Self-awareness, you have to have self-awareness. You have to understand yourself very well. You have to understand others. which is known as social skills, and empathy, motivation, self-regulation. What is meant by self-awareness? One's own emotions, strengths and weaknesses, goals, motivations and values. These things you have to know about yourself. You can write down on a list, just like a list. You have to spend some time with you. You have to sit silently. You have to understand what you are, first of all, and without judging them. See, suppose by nature you have a jealousy. Suppose somebody has a more attractive bike than you, you may feel some kind of negativity, or you may point it out, you may understand that you are envious towards the person. If you miss that, you cannot improve that. Suppose if you think that you are from the childhood, you are told that don't be jealous, don't be jealous, jealousy is very bad, jealousy is very bad. So while listing out, suppose you miss that point, you keep it out or you hide it. No, this is not jealousy or something you just want to pacify yourself. Then you cannot improve the situation. So you have to understand, while understanding whatever positive or negative, you have to be very, very watchful towards yourself. You should not judge that this is good, this is bad, I'll hide it, I'll show this. All these things will never bring the real change. The ability to recognize one's impact on others and using certain level of intuition to guide their decision, how they alter the emotions of others, how much you can change others' emotions. If you understand that, you will understand about your leadership abilities, leadership acumen, how many people you can affect with your tone, what you can do with that. All these things will explain a lot about you. Then self-regulation, recognizing one's negative and disruptive emotions, impulses and controlling, redirecting them in productive and positive purposes, individual capacity to adapt to changing circumstances. Then social scale. Next slide, please. This construct utilizes two elements to manage the relationships with those around you, to move people in the direction you want them to go. See, once you understood, then what to do, managing them. So how you can use on other people. New way to motivate an employee or someone, communicating their positive attributes. Once you understand the person, you can motivate them well, because you can give them, you can make them understand about their positive traits. It helps, it lifts them. It lifts the spirit of those people and it motivates them for a better situation. Then next slide, empathy. Empathy means, next slide. Sometimes we confuse empathy with sympathy. Empathy means it is a different process. In sympathy means just feeling sorry for someone. Nobody wants your sorry. First of all, make it a point. Nobody wants your sorry. Only with your sorry, nothing happens. Only the mood is sweetened. Somewhat a sweet situation may come into existence. That's all. But a constructive change cannot happen with simple sorry. In sympathy, one typically feels sorry badly regarding the challenge and to consider the feelings of others when making decisions. Empathy often serves a pragmatic and emotional purposes. Empathy means completely you have to put yourself in other situation and think about it and give the solution for the problem. This will solve any situation. So this is very important. Next slide, please. The next one is motivation. Motivation means person with high EQ will be able to successfully motivate others because they know more about you. They know your positive features. They know your negative features. This skill, and because they are emotionally intelligent, they can put them in correct way to reach you. So all these things will help you. It will help others also to get a promotion or a qualification or any kind of achievement. The third model is trait model. Please go to next slide. Trait model. Next slide, please. Next slide. Trait model means there are 4 factors in trait model: well-being, emotionality, self-control, and sociability. These are different facets. Next slide, please. Adaptability, assertiveness, perception of emotions, impulsiveness, emotional regulation, management of others' emotions. See how you can get adapted, how you can be assertive. Assertive means you should say the fact without rudeness. You have to be very strict in the purpose, but your tone should not be rude. It's very important for anything to get success, any situation to end up with success. And for a leader, this is a must. So all these things will are different dimensions of emotional intelligence. Last part, let us come to. Please go to next slide. 5 skills to develop emotional intelligence. How to develop? Once we have known the importance, how to develop. One thing is practice self-awareness. You have to practice it. You have to understand yourself. Don't think that understanding yourself may tell you few bitter facts. Suppose you are unnecessarily you are angry, unnecessarily aggressive. It may spoil what is this. I'm like, don't judge that. And keeping like that, if you hide your feelings, then you cannot. So self-awareness, what you are doing, how you feel, very, very important part is what you don't know about yourself. What is that you don't know about yourself? That is very important to know. Knowing what you are doing. Next slide. Stop checking all your phone and all these things. You just sit silently, some space of silence and solitude every day. And if you have to understand yourself well, then you have to be very, very silently, quietly, you must engage with the rest of the world. This is, if you create noise around you all the time, only to pass the time, or uh, to escape from all the thoughts which you don't want to entertain, then a real change cannot happen. Next slide. Pay attention to how you feel about any situation. What is the first hand feeling? You just face that. Don't judge that. You accept that. That is very important. Is it angry? Is it sad? It is jealousy, or what is that? You have to accept them, because that is the channel going through which you can improve. Otherwise, if you completely hide it, you can never get into that. Next slide, please. Knowing what you don't know about you, once you see all the uncomfortable stuff, then you will begin to get a sense of where your own little crazy resides. See, suppose on your birthday, everybody has to wish you at 12 o'clock the night. That is your somewhat that sense is inside you. That is your little crazy. If you feel very, very satisfied, you feel so excited, thrilled. Don't think that okay, all these things will not happen in life, why should I think all these things. Don't entertain such disappointing ideas. Admit it, accept it, try to channelize it into others also. So these are certain things what we are writing. If suppose once 2 tasks are given for you, one task you will disturb with your irritation. If you have the tendency, accept it, so that what you can do, you can think later. Then you have to channelize your emotions well. Next slide, please. Emotions are the be all and all of life. Control, manage. They are the signals that tell us to pay attention to something. Emotion is some generated feeling in you by which you have to immediately understand that you have to pay attention towards it. By seeing a person, suddenly some negativity has generated within you, you have to be alert with that. Don't think that he must be good only, why I'm thinking like that. No, you believe your gut, you believe your basic emotions. Next slide, please. Third step, let us go. Learn to motivate yourself. Next slide. Do something what you love most. This is very important for anyone at any age, wherever you are there, whichever position you are there. Every day you have to do something what you love, apart from your job, apart from your daily life. Sometimes what you love becomes your job, then you are the luckiest person in the life. Even otherwise also you have to do that. Getting lost in something, suppose a movie or a music or some game or a sport, if you get lost in that, that means it will recognize emotions in others for healthier relationships. Same kind of emotions others also will have. Whatever you are little crazy, others also will have that kind of thing. Whatever you get lost in something or your passion, others also will have the same thing. Please change the slide. So you have to understand that. Understand others. Next slide, please. So then your relations will be finer. You can, for healthier relation, how much you understand others, that much you have to understand. How much you understand yourself, that much you understand others also. Finally, the last thing what I have to emphasize on is, please go to next slide. Infuse your emotions with values, because once you do all these things, you understand yourself, how you manage yourself, you have a now you have a weapon, you can control your emotions. Please go to next slide. You can control others' emotions through your words. You can motivate them, or you can make others do whatever you want. Then values are very important. If you use that for wrong purpose, then you are criminal. You will become a criminal. So you have to do all these things with values. And last slide. Low emotional intelligence, high emotional intelligence. Different things. If low emotional intelligence is aggressive, demanding, egoistic, bossy, confrontational, high emotional intelligence means assertive, ambitious, driving, strong-willed, and decisive. Easily distracted, selfish, poor listener, impulsive. These are the qualities of low emotional intelligence. High emotional intelligence means warm, enthusiastic, sociable, charming, persuasive. Low emotional intelligence, resistant to change, passive, unresponsive, slow, stubborn. High emotional intelligence, patient, stable, predictable, consistent, good listener. Low emotional intelligence, critical, picky, fussy, hard to please, perfectionist. High emotional intelligence, detailed, careful, meticulous, systematic, and neat. Which way you want to be? Definitely right hand side, isn't it? That means you want to be very, very highly emotionally intelligent. Then try to put all your effort and try to become one. And this person, last slide please. This person is known as the first emotionally super intelligent person. Last slide please. A perfect mentor, counselor, troubleshooter, motivator in very tough time. That is a sign of a emotionally super intelligent, emotional genius maybe. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I request the participants to please make use of the chat box. If you have any queries, you may feel free to type. Madam, can we take a couple of questions?
Yes, sure.
There is one question from a participant named Mr. Srikanth.
Hmm.
How should we respond when a co-worker challenges us?
Challenges us in work?
Yes,
I mean in work?
yes, ma'am.
See, you have to accept the challenge. If you don't give any alert response to challenge, then you are not motivating yourself. You are not motivated, first of all. You are not motivating you and others also. Always challenges will improve the performance, but in a good way, not by using bad words or shouting, yelling, or banging the tables and all these things, just telling about your past histories, what earlier you have done. All these things are bullshit. You challenge that, you tell him, make him clearly listen to you that you have accepted the challenge, you will do the work, and after that you do the work. Because see, there is one quotation, it is said, spardhaya vardhate vidya. Not only vidya, any ability gets enhanced by spardha. Spardha means some kind of challenging situation. That has to be taken in a positive way. If you take it in a positive way, actually always I tell my students, the real opponents are very good triggers of our fire. The fire which is residing outside, more than friends, our rivals and our opponents will trigger it properly so that we can work with the full spirit. You can do the same thing to them also. You first meet the challenge, then give the same challenge to others also. All this can happen in very, very happy environment also. Not challenging means you need not disturb your mood. Moods are different, but challenges are different. Is it?
Thank you,
Is
ma'am.
it convinced? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Any more questions from the participants? You may even raise your hand so that we can unmute you. Yes, Anusha.
Hello, are you audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah, actually, I have a question to the ma'am. Does this EQ is used in present organizations?
Come again.
Does this EQ is used in present organizations?
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
See,
but
present
has been
organization is more useful.
yeah, actually, I didn't even listen in any organization about EQ. Then how
Because
it
it
is
is.
going to develop?
Come again.
Yeah, I never listened a word as EQ in any organization. Having worked in some organizations.
Actually, there are many organizations now pointing towards this. We are meeting with their requirements. We are addressing them. Because actually transactional analysis is another thing used almost similar to emotional intelligence, not very much similar.
Do you think that
In
is
many
going to
places,
work? Do you think it
see,
is really going to work on?
yes, yes. Particularly for leadership, as you grow in your career, as you become like top management or middle level management, this is very, very useful.
Yeah, actually, in the living world organization, just they need the profits. They didn't understand any emotionals or something about the customers or the workers or the employees working in any institutions or the organizations too. Then
That's true.
it is really going to helpful to them, or it's going to give any result to them.
See, this is a basic requirement to improve the situation. And
Okay.
we have to admit that till now, many organizations have not reached to that kind of mental status where they are seeing that to improve the organization health is important. That is the narrow focus, narrow mindset of those organizations. They are simply giving importance only to the profit.
Yes.
But short-term profits, if they have to last in the long term, if they really want to have one corporate image, they are giving importance to solid things like this image, employer image, and all these things. These are very important. In very good, very big MNCs, all these things are taken mandatorily. And small organizations, see, as you are telling, each and every organization only they are giving importance to only profits. That shows their narrow mindedness of the organization. They have to grow still. They have to develop still. That is what we can say. Any more questions?
Thank you, ma'am. One more participant. Priyadarshini.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Okay, so my question is how to make the opposite person understand our perspective.
Clear communication without and maintaining proper tone without being aggressive. Normally, if you say the same thing with aggressive tone, your tone may spoil the situation. You can make them understand well with the how well you can put it in words. The sentences, effective sentences, and good vocabulary is also needed. And as the earlier participant has asked, it is very pitiable situations. Of course, in few organizations, we may miss that. Opposite person also will not have that much of patience or ability to understand the real problem. But when you have a problem, you should go on making it a point. That is very important. In a clear way, the clarity is very important. And the construction of sentences, how you frame the sentences and how openly you discuss it with others, that is very important and mandatory.
One more question, ma'am. Tanveer Sultana.
Come again.
Hello. Good morning,
Yes,
ma'am.
Good morning.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
I have
Yes.
a question regarding that how to analyze the intentions of the person with whom we are dealing, like in the in front person. In some situations, like they have words on their lips, like something like which is not intended that what they mean. So I just want to know how to analyze and judge the intentions of the other person.
This is only the thing, our aim of this entire lecture. This is only the complex situation, the most complex situation we face. One thing we need to always remember: a person always speaks something. There is no such rule that he thinks the same thing inside. Everybody in this world will have their own agenda, right? They may have their personal agenda. They speak in somewhere other way. If they are very, very manipulative people, they may use so many sugary words, chocolatey words. All those things are very, very meaningless. So one thing what I can say is you have to expand your thinking horizons. This happens by dealing with more and more situations, people, and particularly some kinds of books also. Like if you read autobiographies or biographies, different where different situations are explained properly, the thick situations, the real troubles, uh, they are explained properly. Such kind of books, if you read, your thought horizons will expand. And dealing with different situations, normally out of the experience you will gain. Now, first thing what we can do is whether they are while they are speaking out, whether what kind of eye contact they are maintaining, that will give you some information. And what the person's nature is, real nature, whether its actions meet their words or not. This is very, very immediate acid effect kind of thing. See, litmus paper test. There is one test called litmus paper test, by doing which we can decide the element of the material, like whether it is acid or base. In the childhood we have read. In the same way, always you have to see, first of all, whether their actions and words are matching or not. Normally, if people say lies, if they are liars, their actions will go in some direction, their words will go in another direction. That means they are not sincere from inside. So somewhere or the other, your gut has to feel that. That is what we say. With a lot of intelligence also, normal intelligence, brain intelligence, we cannot understand. But somewhere our gut will give you the first-hand signals. Immediately you have to catch them. That is very important in nowadays world, present day world, because people who approach you will come with different agendas. The inside plans may be different, outside their words may be different. It's very important to understand people and go by their things. So that is why always believe in your instincts, believe in your gut, what is the first hand feeling when you see that person, and after that try to understand that person, whether his actions and words are matching or not, what kind of things he is doing while in the past, similar kind of things what he has done. All these things very, very important information for us. We have to go by that. You should not be inalert. Okay, that person has done in that circumstance was different, now is different, he will not. It's not like that. First of all, your awareness, your acceptance of your information, whatever you have, that is very important.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I hope the questions from all the participants are answered. I now request Shrikant sir to please present vote of thanks on the behalf of School of Management Studies, Trinity Institute of Science and Technology. Sir, please.
Good morning, Dr. Janaki Madam. Good morning, students, colleagues. I'm very happy today to be present here. And for 1.5 hours, I felt it was not just a presentation, but it was more like a mental therapy. I am awestruck and really very intriguing speech by Dr. Janaki Madam. She has literally presented all her experiences in relation to the emotional intelligence. Today it is a very important part of social behavior. Every day when we switch on the TV and put on any news channel, big leaders from various parties yell at each other. They lose their mental balance and they forget that they are being exposed to the society. Not just the leaders, but also it is happening in every house, in every organization where people are not having that emotional intelligence. And as Madam rightly mentioned about it is idiotic about gratifying your past successes. It is very important that you have control on your emotions, at the same time respect the emotions of the others for a well and a a continuous progress in the society. And I'm really thankful to you, Madam. You have spoken a lot on optimal performance, where today most of the people feel that it is only intelligence quotient which makes them successful. But your speech has infused a new thought, and it is a thought provoking that success just doesn't lie in intelligence and rational thinking, but it is more about presenting your true intelligence, which is generating good vibes and positivism in the society. It is indeed a very right topic which we have chosen today, because students at the budding age, now they are entering into the 20s. Very soon they are going to enter the professional environment. This speech of yours have must have made them to realize and mend their behavior. We from the School of Management faculty, we are deeply indebted towards you, Madam. In spite of your busy schedule, you have spared your valuable time, and we are thankful for your kind gesture, ma'am. Please acknowledge it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And I am also thank the students from various colleges as well as Srinidhi and colleagues for arranging this wonderful session. Please continue this spirit. And we are, Dr. Janaki Madam, we are looking forward for many such inspiring speeches from you. Have a great day, madam. Thank you. Thank you one and all once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks to all the participants for being there since beginning. We hope to see the same in the further coming days. Thank you so much, ma'am, Janaki ma'am.
Welcome.
We got to learn a lot from you. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
It was nice experience for me also.
Thank you, ma'am.
To addressing so many students
True.
on this occasion.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, one and all. Have a great day.
I think I can leave, right?
Yes, ma'am. I request Sunil sir to please end the meeting.